friends, this is Wednesday, January 2nd, and you will be seeing this video on Friday. Today I just uploaded a kind of a 2018 recap and goals for 2019. And so this is going to be another sit-down video, and I'm going to be kind of talking about something that I have been thinking about for quite a long time. And I've got my coffee here, so I'm going to have a sip of coffee. And I've got my notes, so if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes. So what I want to talk about today, and what I've been thinking about doing for quite some time, maybe not that long really, maybe really thinking about it a lot in the last month or so, is finding ways to save money and to kind of curb my spending habit. I wouldn't call myself a spendaholic or, anything that grand or severe, but I do have trouble sometimes, and not even all the time, but I go through spurts kind of in my life where I spend too much money. And I know a lot of my fellow YouTubers and friends and different people on social media have been doing no spend months. Well, I am going to do something a little bit more challenging in a way to me, and it's going to be a no buy year. Now, a no buy period of time, however long you decide to make it for, is a little different than a no spend. Typically with a no spend, they do it for like a month, maybe 2 months, and you don't spend any money other than what you absolutely have to spend, like for your house payment or gas for the car or minor food items. Basically you eat out of your cupboards and out of your freezer, and you don't spend any money for a set amount of time. Well, a no buy time period, and for me it's going to be for a year, is a little bit different than that. So what you need to do in order to do a no buy period of time, and I'm just going to go a year because that's what I'm going to do, or at least what I'm going to attempt to do, is you need to just really think about what you spend your money on and write down the areas that you overspend or you impulse buy, and you need to control that spending and get out of the habit of overspending in those certain areas. So I sat down and I really thought about what I spend my money on and the areas where I spend too much, and I need to curb that. And I found 3 areas. The first 2 are my worst problem areas, you might want to say, and then the third area is something that I don't really have a problem spending money or saying no, but sometimes I give in and I buy things that I don't really need. And so I'm going to just go through the areas of my spending and in my life that I am going to try to control this year, and I'm going to make rules for those categories and then exceptions, because the idea behind this no buy year is to make this something that is attainable and not make your rules that you put down for these categories so strict and so stringent that there's no possible way that you could fulfill this challenge, and you give up after a month. So I want this to be something that I can actually obtain. So the first area that I really have a lot of problems overspending is in the area of clothing. I love clothes. I love shopping for clothes. I like wearing cute clothes. And as long as I stay out of the clothing stores, I'm okay. But I have found the magic of online shopping, and that has become a problem, especially at Cato. Yes, at Cato. It's not an addiction necessarily, but if I go in that store or I go on that website, 99% of the time I will walk away having bought something that I don't really need. So For the entire year of 2019, I will not be buying any new clothes, except, and here's the exceptions, except for undergarments. And like my husband said, I don't typically go in a store looking at underwear and impulse buy underwear, you know. But I know that there's going to be time, you know, the undergarments that I have right now are not going to last me for another whole year. So I will be buying some undergarments. And then the other exception to that is that I need a pair of good support shoes for the summer. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I went to the podiatrist a couple of months ago because I've been having so much problems with my feet, and he said that I needed to get some really good shoes. And he gave me the brand name, which is Vionic, and then he gave me a couple other name brands. Well, I went online, and those shoes are expensive. They're anywhere from $60 to $120 or $130. And I just so happened to find a really good pair of shoes at the thrift store that I remember you guys seeing those, the Mary Janes, that were one of those brands that he recommended, and I got them for $7. Well, I'm going to need a pair of summer sandals, and so I'm going to be spending money, hopefully less than $100. It just kills me to spend that much for a pair of shoes. But I'm going to be buying myself a good pair of summer shoes for my feet. It's almost like a prescription that I need to get filled that the doctor said I needed to do. So that is the exception to the clothing rule. The second area where I just overspend and I impulse buy, probably even more than clothing, it happens more often, and that is for home decor. You know, we just recently remodeled the kitchen and dining room, and I bought a lot of stuff to, you know, redecorate. I love decorating. I love home designs and home decor, and I just impulse buy it. I'll see someone, you know, do a haul on their YouTube channel, and they say, oh, we got this at thus and there, here and there, or whatever, and I'll go on that website or I'll go to that store and I'll look and see if I can find that same item. I don't need it, but I want it. And so that is where I need to stop this spending. I'm not going to be buying anything for my home decor wise. The exception to this rule are items for my DIY projects. I love to do DIY projects. I love to do DIY challenges. And if I need to go and buy a can of spray paint, or I need to pick up some things from the Dollar Tree to produce this DIY, then I'm going to allow myself to do that. But I am not going to be buying any home decor items. I'm not going to go into Walmart and walk through their home decor section and pick something up. The hardest thing that I'm going to have to say no to for this year is Pioneer Woman. I love her stuff. I love her line, and she's always coming out with new things. And so I'm just basically going to stay out of that department, with the exception that I am going to replace the bowls set that got broken. You know, if you saw my video about after Christmas, I had gotten Pioneer Woman stuff, and one of those things was a set of bowls, and they were broken when I opened them up. So that's the only thing I'm going to be buying, and that's not really buying, it's replacing. I'm going to be replacing that set of bowls that were broken. The third area where I'm overspend and I have a habit of buying things I don't need is in the makeup and beauty category. Now, like I said before, I really don't have a monthly problem with this, but there are times, periods of time, where I will see somebody, you know, recommend a product, and I'll go right out and buy it, even though I don't need it. So what I'm going to be doing for 2019 is I am not going to be buying any makeup or beauty products on a whim. The exception to this rule is I'm going to be replacing items. Let's say I run out of night cream for my face. I am going to purchase a night cream to replace the night cream that I used up. But I'm not going to be saying, oh, I want to try this or I want to try that and have a bunch of night creams in my cupboard or on my sink. So replacement items I will allow myself to purchase. The other exception to this makeup/beauty category is that I am going to continue to go to the beauty salon and get my hair cut, and I am going to continue to go to the nail salon once a month and get my nails done. Those are the exceptions to that category. Now, when I was going over this with my husband Scott, and I was talking to him about it, and he's all for it, you know, he would really wants us to, you know, curb our spending. The only exception that he added to the mix was that on occasion, maybe twice a year, he and I will go out on a date night and we'll go to stores we don't typically go to, like Target or Meijer or, you know, some of these other types of stores in the bigger town. We don't spend a lot of money typically, but we do sometimes go in and we'll buy things. It's kind of like a date, and we only do this once or twice a year, and he wants to continue to be allowed to do that if we go out on a date, and if we go into a store and if we see something we want, that we will allow ourselves to do that. It's kind of like, it's our date night, and we don't go out on date nights nearly as often as we should, but when we do, we're going to allow ourselves to buy a few things if we want. You know, not necessarily, you know, we don't have to go in a store and purchase something, but if we go in a store and we see something, we're going to allow ourselves to buy it. If it's within our budget, of course. We're not going to go into debt to shop at Target, but you know what I mean. And then the last little thing I want to talk about in my rules for this challenge are, the big exception is yard sales and thrifting. In the summertime, Scott and I love to go yard sailing, and I love to go thrifting. So if I see an item of clothing or a home decor piece at the thrift store or at a yard sale for super duper cheap, I am going to purchase those things. So the big exception to the no buy clothes home decor rule is thrifting and garage sailing. It's something that Scott and I enjoy doing, and so I am going to continue to do that. I also participate in the $5 Goodwill Challenge, and obviously you have to go someplace secondhand to participate in that challenge. So those, you know, those stores, those activities are going to be the exception to the big exceptions to this no buy year. You know, going out on dates, yard sales, and thrift stores. So those are the things that I am not going to be buying this year. Now, there are obviously things that I will be buying, and I wrote those down as well. I have everything laid out here, and I'm going to keep this by my computer so that I will remind myself on a daily basis that I'm going to be, you know, of what I'm doing and my rules for this challenge. So the things that I will be buying obviously are food. I'm not going to have any restrictions on the food that I buy. If I see something new in the store and I want to try it, I will allow myself to buy it. But there is an exception to that. I will not be buying junk food per se. I'm cutting way down on chips and cookies, and I didn't buy a whole lot of cookies and stuff anyway. My main thing was chips, and I'm not buying any more chips. Not only because of this challenge that I'm putting myself through this year, but also because right before Christmas, Scott went and had his annual physical done, and they did blood work and all of that, and he's very healthy, except that he does have high blood pressure and elevated triglycerides. And the doctor said he needs to cut out carbs. He needs to go on a low-carb diet. We're not talking keto here. We're not doing that. And I'm going, I told him, I said, you should still eat carbs that are in fruits and vegetables. But his problem are chips. I have a problem with sweet things. He has a problem with salty things. And he can go all day long and eat really healthily, but at night, in the evenings, before he goes to bed, he grabs chips and crackers and, you know, salty things that he wants to eat before bed. And we know that that is probably why his triglycerides are high. So we're cutting all of that out. And then there's an exception to the exception. On birthdays, I allow my kids to choose whatever they want for dinner on their birthday. And if, let's say, Olivia decides she wants hamburgers and potato chips for her birthday dinner, then I'll buy potato chips for her birthday dinner. But on a whole, when I do my grocery hauls, you will not be seeing chips in the grocery haul except for tortilla chips, the chips that you eat with salsa. That's it. Another area where I will be spending money and buying things are for gifts. We have lots of birthdays coming up. We have our anniversaries coming up. And of course, Christmas will happen again before 2019 is over. And so I will be purchasing gifts for other people. Of course, also, it goes without saying, we will pay our utilities. We will buy gas for the car. We will pay the vet bill. You know, our debt and our utilities and gas for the car goes without saying. We will be buying those things. Now, the other area, like the subtopic of buying that I find myself overspending, is online buying. It is so simple and so easy these days to just go on a website and buy. And it's so easy. With the click of 2 buttons, click, click, in the cart, click, click, pay. 2 days later, you receive what you purchased. It's super, super easy to overspend. So there are some online websites that I will not even be going on, will not be clicking on these websites for an entire year. One is catofashions.com. I have no willpower when it comes to Cato Fashions. And Bath and Body Works, I'm not going on their website. As much as I love their foaming hand soaps, when the foaming hand soap I have is gone, we will be using cheap hand soap from Walmart for the rest of 2019. Another website that I'm going to be staying away from is Grove Collaborative. They sell all kinds of environmentally friendly cleaning products and some beauty products. I like their website. They have some really neat things, but there's nothing on that website that I absolutely have to have. And so I'm not even going to click on that website for the entire year of 2019. The other website that I'm going to be staying off of, and this one will have an exception, is Amazon. The exception to the Amazon website rule is that I will be purchasing gifts from Amazon, and I will be still paying my Amazon Prime monthly bill for that so that I can watch free movies and TV programs. We don't have cable, so if there's something I want to see, I can get it usually for free on Amazon Prime. So I will be continuing my Amazon Prime, and I will be using Amazon for watching TV programs and buying gifts. Now, the online websites that I will be continuing to purchase items through are Vitacost and Swanson Vitamins. That is where I get all of our vitamins and supplements, things for my IBS, organic products. I get quite a few of my beauty products through Vitacost. I will be continuing to purchase from Vitacost on a monthly basis, but some of my rules for, you know, the things that I'm not going to be purchasing, like beauty products and skincare items that I purchased through Vitacost, I will still be purchasing those things, but only after I'm out. You know, when I get down to the nitty gritty of my night cream or my face wash or any kind of beauty products that I buy through Vitacost, that's when I will repurchase them. I will continue to buy my organic foods that I purchase through Vitacost and my cleaning products that I buy through Vitacost. But the cleaning products will be, you know, not on a whim, but when I actually need them. I will replace items. Another website that I will continue to buy things on is Kroger.com for the pickup service that they have. You just order your groceries online, drive up, pick them up, you know, super, super easy, time saving, and in a crappy weather, you don't even have to get out of your car. And also Walmart.com. Our Walmart, now I'm not 100% sure how it works yet, but they have started the order your groceries online, drive up and pick them up. I've never used it yet. I have not used that service yet, but I will be doing that as long as I like it. Next week when I do my grocery shopping, I'm going to do the order online, pick it up at Walmart. And if I like that service, that will be how I do my Walmart shopping from now on. That will also help me in my impulse buying. If you just order what you need online and you don't even ever enter the store, then that in and of itself will help me in my overspending habits. And then the last website that I will continue to purchase things from is Chewy.com. That's where I get all of my dog's dog food. We get Artie's bird feed through there, and we get Lucy's medication, her sub-Q fluid bags. We get those from Chewy.com. So those are the websites that I will still be purchasing items through. So that is the how. That is the how of what I'm going to be doing for 2019. Now you may be wondering why. And so here are the whys. So if you decide to do a no-buy year, or a no-buy month, or a no-buy whatever time frame you want to set for yourself, you need to write down your rules. Like I just went over, the things you will not be buying, the things that you will be buying, and the exceptions to those rules. Then you need to write down the why. Why? Why am I doing this? Well, I have 5 reasons why I am doing this. The first reason, and probably the most important reason, is number 1, I want to challenge myself. This is going to be challenging for me. You know, I don't have a bad habit of overspending or impulse buying every time I go in the store, but there are times, I don't know whether it has to do with depression or, you know, in the winter months when it's cold and gloomy and you don't get as much sunlight or whatever, but there are times when I impulse buy and I go out shopping and I buy things I don't really need, and it gives you that high, it makes you feel good, it's like you had fun. And so this is going to be challenging for me. Not buying any new clothes other than if I find something at the thrift store, for, you know, secondhand, and not buying any Pioneer Woman items for an entire year is going to be very challenging for me. And I might not make it. I might fail. This might be a total flop of a challenge, but I want to challenge myself. I want to be able to do this and see how I feel this time, you know, at the end of 2019 when we're heading into 2020. You know, I want to look back and see if I could do it. And the second reason, and that I think is really like one of the up there more important reasons I want to do this, is that I want to break my habit. It's a bad habit that I have. When I go into a store, I am like drawn like a magnet to Pioneer Woman stuff, the clothing department. I am just, it's like a magnet. And sometimes I cannot resist that pull. And so I want to break this habit. I want to be able to go into a store and look at items and not feel like I have to buy something or buy impulse shopping. I want to break the habit of impulse shopping. The third reason that I want to do this is that I want us to get out of debt. Now, we just paid off our house a couple of months ago, so we don't have that big debt pulling on us, but we replaced that debt with a huge vet bill that we will be paying on probably for a year to get it paid off. We went into a tiny little bit of debt for Christmas because I wasn't prepared. I didn't save. I didn't, you know, think ahead. And when it came right down to the nitty-gritty, we needed things for Christmas, and we charged them. I'm going to be flat out honest with you. No, not a huge amount, not thousands of dollars, but hundreds. And I want to get that credit card paid off. That credit card had a 0 balance before Christmas. And now it has a balance again because we didn't prepare ahead of time for the holidays. It's not like the holidays come up and, surprise, it's Christmas, and with no warning, you have an entire year. But we didn't save for Christmas. So I want to get us out of debt again. We were out of debt for a very short time. And then the dog thing happened and the Christmas thing happened, and now we have debt again. And not a lot, like I said, not a lot. In the grand scheme of things, it's very, very little. But I hate having debt, and I want to get it paid off. The fourth reason why I want to do this challenge is I want to save money. Every year I tell myself I'm going to start putting X amount of dollars in my saving account every week, and I'm not going to touch it. And every year I save a few $100s and something happens. My impulse buying gets to me. I go on a website where I know if I click on that button, I will walk away from that purchasing something. And all of the savings just fritters away. It fritters away and you have nothing to show for it, or very little to show for it. And so I want to actually be able to save some money. If nothing else, saving the money for Christmas and saving the money for the pig that we buy every fall to fill our freezer. I don't want it to come August when it's time to pay for that pig and go pick up the meat and pay for the processing and have that stress in my chest of where am I going to get the money for this? I hate that. I don't want to do that anymore. I'm tired of it. And so that brings me to the fifth reason why I want to do this challenge, and that is so I can de-stress about money. Money is an evil of our time that we have to have. We have to have money. You cannot, even though my property is paid for, my house is paid for, I can have a garden for food, we raise chickens for eggs and for meat, we still have to have money. We have to keep the lights on. I don't want to live off grid. I don't want to live pioneer days. So we need electricity. We need gas for the car. So money is a necessity that we have to have. We have to pay our property taxes every year. Even though this property is technically paid in full, it's not really, because if you don't pay your property taxes, they can come take your stuff. And that's another thing that it's like, I know it's coming twice a year. We have to pay our property taxes. It doesn't sneak up on you. It's the same time every year. But yet, when it comes to November, when the second half of my property taxes are due, I haven't saved the money for them. And then I stress about it. And then I pull back the reins of spending for a short time to pay and meet those demands on our budget. And then, so I go through this worry of, am I going to have money for the gas for the car? Am I going to have money to get groceries? And I don't want that anymore. It's time to stop stressing about money, start saving it, and stop overspending. This video has gone on a lot longer than I thought it would, but I really wanted to explain to you what I'm going to be doing. I am going to be remaining accountable to you. At the end of every month, I'm going to do a video on how that month went in my no-buy year. I'm going to try, I don't really know if I can like keep track of how much money I saved by doing this, because I never really kept track of how much money I spent on these categories in the past. But I am going to report back to you my failures. If I did go out and buy something I shouldn't, then I'm going to report that to you. But I'm hoping that I will be able to go through this entire year with no mess ups, and that I will have something to show for this at the end of 2019. All right, friends, that's all I have for this video. If you guys want to do a no buy year, no buy month, whatever you might want to do, just follow these steps that I laid out for you and let me know. Let me know in the comments below, and let us support each other in 2019 to meet all of our goals. Thank you so much for watching, friends, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.